right? I'm really not one for intros. I actually hate them. So what I'm going to do is I'll let you watch the first clip. We'll break it down after, and we'll go from there and just see where the video takes us. It's going to be a bit of a freestyle. Right, let's go.
Launching smoke. Stim beacon down. Who trained you? Molly.
One enemy remaining.
Guys, one tap. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Nice, nice, you got it.
Oh my god, let's go.
Let's go, doll.
You're so sexy, bro.
Clutch.
You got cracked out
that
then.
your
You got
round?
Way to put me in charge.
So you've seen the clip in real time. Let's have a little bit of a breakdown of it now. This will be a bit of a freestyle, and I like to waffle, so I do apologize before that. But the video is about how to improve technically on the game, and it's technical, it's mechanical, it's mental, and I kind of break it down as such that winning these rounds that I'm going to show you, including this one that just now, it is down to 90% mental, 9% mechanical skill, and just 1% luck. It really is a mental game when it comes down to these one life modes. And so, yeah, I mean, 90% mental, 9% mechanical, 1% luck kind of leaves you with that position of how do I improve the 90% to get the most effective performance out of myself? Well, let me go through it. Let's break down what happens in this first clip. We'll do it for another one or two after this, just in similar situations, because I want to show you 3 different clips that were like 3 different situations, but all, within a 1 or 2 day period. I have so many clips that are just like 1v3s, 1v4s, even like a 1v5 or 2, but like, I think it's best to include ones that are all within a similar time frame or within 1 or 2 days of each other at the start of August, just so that you have that idea of how consistent you can really become with it. But let's break down the first clip anyway, because you've been sat here long enough just hearing me waffle. Right. We're on bind. We're in a 1v3. I'm Brim against a Phoenix, a Sky, and a Reyna at the top, as you can see. I'm playing with a friend, so I have information. I'm playing with 2 friends, so I have some information about what's happening earlier on in the round. But ultimately, here's what I know. So I have a smoke. I'll turn the volume down a little bit just so I can play it and hear myself. I place my smoke into hookah or window, whatever you may call it. And the idea here is that I want to block off as many lanes as I can with the utility that I have earlier on. So I put my smoke down so I know that I can pick up here pretty easily without having to watch too many angles. I'm looking elbow, and we'll let the clip sort of play a little bit, just see. I chuck my stim down because I know that I'm about to do an aggressive peek, and I know that I only have a few angles to clear because of my smoke that I've put down. So I stim, still watching that angle. The Reyna crosses and jiggles me. So I come back to here expecting her to maybe jiggle the angle again or to maybe full peek it and go for it. And all she does is she just simply goes straight across and doesn't really move after that and stays in that one place that's still trying to spam me. That was a really easy kill, really simple kill. What you need to understand in these sort of situations, I'm sorry for talking fast by the way, but it's you got to go through it and you got to understand how it feels in real time. What you have to understand in these situations is that depending on the player's skill level that you're against, so if these players are diamond players, you know that they are going to be quite eager because diamond players typically don't have that same patience that a lot of the higher and more radiant players might have, or in CS, high ESEA A players, rank G, rank S players, pros, whatever, will have that patience because they know that every round can be lost regardless of the situation that you're in. You can lose a 1v5 just as easy as you can lose a 1v2. In reality, it just comes down to how the defenders or how the attackers, whoever's on the higher team, so if you've got 5 people, just how you play it. So in this situation, it really is just about knowing the people that you're against and knowing what you can get away with. So I'm jiggling every corner. I thought I heard noise in this close left corner just here, and I'm not entirely sure if he was there still, but what I do is I throw my molly in it, and I start faking some noise towards elbow to hopefully get them to rotate away from it. And then I start walking backwards, and I hear a step out onto site. And I believe it's the Phoenix that I hear stepping out onto the site. So he could have been in that mollied corner, or he could have been back site and is reacting now to the information of me walking elbow. So what we do is we come back round, 11 bullets. The smoke is faded at hookah, so we are nervous about that now. But we're in a 1v2 with time ticking down. They probably aren't going to jiggle just too much now. We walk outside, and he peeks me in the same place that Reyna peeked me. My friend says that Sky is 1 tap, and I'm expecting her to be playing long at this point because that's the only place that I haven't really had any utility or any information on. I smoked out hookah, there was no response. I've cleared out elbow a little bit, I cleared out the site. She could be deeper in elbow, or she could be long, and that's where I'm expecting her to sort of be. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I tap the bomb, and I get a little glimpse of her just in hookah just then, and then the round is pretty much over. All you need to do then is just sort of hit your bullets, and you're good to go, and get the defuse.
Oh my god.
Now, if that sounded complicated, let me break it down a little bit easier just for you. What you essentially want to do is use the utility that you have, know the people that you're against, and work off that information alone. It doesn't come overnight, it isn't something that comes super fast, and it does take a lot of time to process the information and know when to use it in certain situations. So, I mean, this was a 1v3. I'll show you some other ones that will quickly after, but it really is just about practicing that situation and knowing what you have available. Use utility, learn who you're against, learn what angles you can hold, what angles you can jiggle with the information that you have, and basically just do your best to get into the enemy's heads. You know, I faked walking down elbow after I got the kill. I used my utility to switch up how I was going to approach the site so they didn't really know what was going to happen. And even at the end, even till the very end, tapping the bomb just to get the reaction out of the sky, just using all these little tricks just to try and get that advantage in that round. So what we'll do is we'll go on to the next clip now, and I'll start breaking them down a little bit quicker and a little bit more simple, I should say, just because I think now you have the idea and understanding of what I'm trying to say in the video. Right, on to the next clip then.
Last player standing.
Are they pushing up or going back, do you know?
Going, I think, pushing, I think.
Radiant kill. Knife deployed. They're suppressed.
One enemy
Kill the
remaining.
queen.
Down your backside now.
Spike planted.
Nice shit.
Well played, bro.
Ultimately, again, there's a lot of similarities between the clips, and that's something that you're going to start noticing. It is very much so a game of cat and mouse trying to play with the people that you're against. So, at the start of this clip, I had information from my teammate and my friend telling me that he thinks they're coming up mid rather than going down. So what I can do with this information basically is then I can go and peek for free because I know that I can get around this corner behind me, and I still have my KO knife to know that I have all the information that I need. So basically, I go up, I get a free pick completely because they have no idea where I am whatsoever. That is a complete freebie in a 1v3 situation like this every day of the week. You won't always get them, but I got very lucky in that situation to get that. Like I said, it comes down to 1% luck. So I use my KO knife now, just to sort of gauge whereabouts they are if they're rotating around, and I can gather that they are probably like holding me quite close at this point because they're expecting me to peek more of the angle. So what I do know though is that I have someone to my left that I heard, and I have two people within the KO knife, so they are both close mid. And you can hear someone jumping in there. And at this point, I was surprised to see that the Reyna was still holding. Again, this is a bit of a free kill, really, because a lot of time has passed since my first pick that I got. I don't know why she is still holding that and not going with her teammate towards site to go and take that together. They aren't playing the buddy system whatsoever. If I was making a video about how you win the 3v1s or, you know, how to not lose rounds or whatever, the best thing would always be just play for trades. And that's something that you pick up from playing a lot of these one life modes, is that you always need to play for trades. It's the most important thing when it comes down to winning important rounds. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, those two kills were just complete freebies regardless of what happened within that round. So I know now that it's a 1v1 versus the Sage. I know that she's ran to site and I heard her. I'm holding it just in case she's trying to fake me by walking back. And it's a similar sort of playstyle that I have in those sort of 1v1 situations where it is you're trying to fake the person out. So what you'll notice now is that I start making a little bit of noise, I start running, I start walking, I start just doing a little bit of different things just to see if she starts
Down
picking
your
up
backside now.
my audio cues with what I'm doing. My teammate says that she's planning back site, which I kind of gathered. I mean, it's not always the information you need, but you kind of know what she's doing. And at this point, I don't think she really has any idea where I'm going to be coming from because I've got the two kills up B. I fake noise in the elbow, and I've now walked all the way out onto a really open angle, unpredictable.
Planted.
And I mean, yeah, that's the end of it. Again, it's similar to the bind clip where you break it down into, do I want to give away the information that I have? So in the bind one, I was in a really dodgy spot. There was only one place I could have come from, but I can flesh out from that. It's like a flower. You can do so much with it. You can expand out, you can bloom, you can do whatever. But in this situation, I had all the time in the world, I had all the map in the world, and all that I did was just keep hitting them in the same place. They kept expecting it, but there's nothing they could do about it. It's a mental game. It really is a mental game to hit them in the same place again. And so, yeah, I mean, a similar clip, you use the same information, use the utility that you have, use the KO knife. I used fakes, I used different walks, different audio cues they'd be picking up. It might sound like waffle, but trust me, just trying your best to get into the opponent's head. It's 90% mental, 9% mechanical, 1% luck. You always need that luck in the round to win some of these difficult 1v3s, 1v4s or whatever. Some of your skill comes down to it as well. You have to hit the shots at the end. But a lot of it is just a mental game. It really is, and you only get that practice just by doing your best to be that unpredictable player. And so what I'll do now is I'll go into the last clip and we'll break it up from there.
Last player standing.
How is that
Spike
not a
down
headshot?
mid.
Nice.
Obstacle
Viper was
removed.
like A-Link.
30 seconds left. One enemy remaining.
Oh, nice though.
I'm
You're
built
fucking
different.
cracked.
On to this last clip then. I would argue this is probably the most difficult one to break down because there isn't too much going on. There's not too much that I did in this perspective. But like I said, it's 3 clips all within like a 1 or 2 day period. I just want to show the consistency of how it all works. So, I mean, you start off the clip. We are in a 2v3. What information do we really gather? We know that the Viper's in
How is
mid.
that not a headshot?
And essentially, my whole plan is here is just to be unpredictable. Like I've said throughout all the clips, you have to be unpredictable and in their heads completely. So they have no information that I'm here. I've got 40 seconds on the clock. I could be anywhere in the map at this point. So what I do is I walk up close mid, and my whole goal here is to basically just find one of them off guard, one of them not knowing what they're doing, trying to just rush the round to get it over with. And what happens is I randomly find the Sage healing or whatever she's doing, running out into the middle of the site, just completely unaware of anything that's actually happening within the round. Free kill, freebie
Viper
once
was
again, and at this point it's completely difficult. My friends give me information about where the Viper is. I am spotted basically out mid, up top. There's nowhere for me to go, so I use her own utility. And whilst I take a bit of decay damage for this, I use her own utility to get out. So I'm pretty sure within this time that I'm in her orb here, she's actually peeking mid and looking for me. And as you'll see, as I come out, there's a small gap. I get away a little bit free. I'm jiggling it, and then she peeks it again. Or maybe that's the first time she peeks. I'm not 100% sure. But I used her utility to get away, which to me is sort of like I've slipped away. She's seen me. It's kind of a mental game once again that she knows that she's missed out on killing me when she should have traded that, really. So now my whole plan is I'm in a 1v2. I'm running out of time a little bit. My whole plan is to fake some more noise towards garage and break in potentially either through there or just run up mid again. So I'm nervous about the chamber because I haven't seen him. So I am sort of pre-firing, making a little bit of noise, just trying to be a bit unpredictable towards garage. And what actually happens is I start to peek out mid as her orb drops, and I suddenly get peeked by the Viper out on the right, but she jiggles away. I'm not entirely sure she saw me, but the chamber comes out and fast peeks, which was a little bit of an interesting one because I didn't expect him to be there, nor did I expect him to do a fast peek like that. So at this point, I've got to kill in the chamber. I'm now in a 1v1 with no time. She knows that she has spike down. I can grab it and rotate to any site in that time realistically, but she knows that I still have to grab it.
Enemy remaining.
Oh, my.
And all she does is just peek me. I have no idea why she jiggled it out like that. This is just really bad trades from Plat Diamond players. You always need to be close with your teammate. You always need to be ready to trade for your teammate. And all that they did really was just let me walk up mid each time over and over. Like I said, it's a mental thing. You need that mechanical skill to hit the shots. You need the luck to win the round. But so much of it is just a mental game that they don't know what they're doing in that situation. They thought the round was wrapped up and over in a 1v3. But if you start walking up and finding little picks here and there, you're in their heads. And the minute that comes down to a 1v1, that round is over for her mentally. That she is no longer winning that. The chamber got cocky and confident with a 1v2 peak. But even still, you lose that kill there, you lose that, the round is over. It's completely done. And I think this is the main point of it all. If you're trying to win these rounds, and the reason that I win most of these rounds, or in the title I say every round, I mean, you can't win every single round, you don't always have that luck, but the reason that I win most of these rounds, the reason that I get so many of these clutches and clips and things like that is just because people don't have that mental capacity to know how to play the end game of these rounds. And like I said, I've sat here playing COD, CS, Overwatch, and I played like a lot of their amateur sort of divisions and leagues. Open Division Overwatch, I played a lot of challenges and pre-challenges before that on early days of COD. And on CS, I played a lot of ESCA leagues and tournaments and things like that, and Face It, whatever, loads of them back in the day. And even up till now, I still play a lot of them regularly. And just that mental sort of knowledge that you build up, that background, just helps you so much knowing what people are going to do in certain situations, so that when you come on here, a lot of the skills transfer over. And it's the same thing you see. There's a famous COD player called Dashi, and he comes over and he's a Radiant on Valorant, but he's a professional Call of Duty player on controller, not mouse and keyboard. But it really is just, it's the talent of the mental game that can just help you grind and win most of these rounds so easy. And then from that, you go and grind up your ranks and fly up the ranks. So yeah, it's a lengthy video, I know, I am sorry, but I did want to just sort of make it to showcase just how the mental game really affects you and how you can win a lot of these 1vx sort of rounds. So apologies for the waffle, but I hope it was at least something you could learn from. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.